Welcome to Chicago State of Mind, where we go beyond the titles and get to the heart of who people really are. I'm Cheryl Maynard. Today's guest is someone who many people know for her leadership and her impact here in Chicago. But today, we're going to talk about the woman behind the work. Please welcome my very good friend and honored guest, Dr. Dawn Hendricks Milhouse. Cue cuts, yay! I'm going to go ahead and call you properly by your name, Dr. Milhouse.
Yes.
Today, we're just going to talk not about what you do, but about who you are. I think people should know who you are.
I appreciate that.
So who are you really? Hold on. I'm going to narrow that down a little bit for you because that's a tough question.
Yes.
But we really do just try to have conversations here. And outside of the work that Chicago State of Mind has been doing over the last couple of months because it was political season, it's really not who and what this show is about. What this show is actually about is people like you. Dawn was a former cover of Chicago News Weekly, and I'll be adding the link to the in the bio on this show so that people can go back and read the story. But I want to really get into it here with our listening audience. So when I say, who are you really? When you're not working, who's Dawn?
Wow. I feel like I should have prepared for my ACT. When I am not working, I am a daughter. I am a mother. I am a wife. I am a sibling, a big and a little.
A big family.
Huge. I am now the mommy of my 91-and-a-half-year-old dad. And a friend.
Yes, and a very good friend to people around the city. I really admire your ability to be a friend. You know, and that's something that's very difficult on our best days, to be a friend to others. And so you are my friend, and I'm so appreciative of you and everything that you do. And sometimes with you especially, it's just the little things. I post something or someone posts something, there's always a response in the caption or in the responses from Dr. Dawn or Dawn from Chicago or whichever one of the
Teflon
Dawn or, Dr. Milhouse. Keep going, and it's inspirational in those two little hearts, the green heart and the blue heart or the purple heart. So I see it, I notice it, right? So when we're talking about this, like we're here right now, there's such an energy with you. What kind of energy do you bring into a room when you come into a room? She's epic with this, by the way.
Yeah. First let me just say the friend piece. To me, biblically and spiritually, there are friends and there are friendly people. And making the distinction for me is integral to who I am. A lot of people say that's my friend. I have a struggle with those that say that's my friend because you know me doesn't mean I'm your friend. It means I'm friendly, but you are my friend.
Yeah.
And that takes time, just like any other relationship. I think it's the most overused word in the world because everybody's not your friend. And I learned that, and that's why I operate in a space of making certain that when I call you friend, you're now my sister or my brother.
But you understand why so many people look at you and say, that's my friend. And that's why I said what I said, which is you're a very good friend to people. Doesn't necessarily mean that people are always a very good friend back.
Yeah.
That's the difference between when you say, that's my friend, versus when people, but a lot of people, I talk to people, oh, that's my friend, that's my friend.
friend.
right? That's because that's
Dawn
who you
from
are.
Chicago.
That's the energy that you bring to relationships and people that you meet, make them feel that. And when you just do something as small, like I said, as small as responding and saying congratulations or happy birthday or keep it up or a pair of hands, it really means something to people. That's very unique. You know what I mean? That's very unique, and people notice that. I notice it. I see it all the time, and I'm like, oh, wow. You know, ooh, let me write something. She's conscientious enough to do that, and it takes a kind of connectedness, not necessarily to other people, but I feel like it takes a real connectedness to yourself.
Sure.
And that you know who you are.
Sure.
And where your heart is, and your heart. And we'll get to that later in here. That extends out to all that it is that you do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to bring that in right off the bat. And yeah.
So the answer is, who am I? What do I bring? Mm-hmm. It all. I am that girl. I say that not conceited.
Correct.
But understand what I've learned is that understanding who you are and what you bring isn't conceited. It's realizing who God intends you to be. Mm-hmm. Definitely the life of most parties, and if there is no life in it, I'm definitely going to bring that. And Lord knows a glass of champagne will always take me there. True story.
But that, you know, what's the point of drinking it?
But I'm my authentic self, and whatever that is that day, because there are so many iterations of me, all in my fulfillment of purpose. Mm-hmm. I show up authentically as Dawn wherever I go.
And is that something that has stayed? Has that always been like that with you? Has that stayed true like your whole life? Were you this kid, and now you're that, and then you were that adolescent, and you were that teen, and now you're that woman? Was that always like that?
I believe to a certain degree. I think in the stages of growing and relationships and friendships and jobs, which I have had many, you become that. And each piece of that teaches the next person, mm-hmm. the next iteration, what to carry and what to leave. But I do feel like, because I have friends that I went to preschool, literally, mm-hmm. that I still talk to, and I'm talking about 4-year-old preschool. I just believe that I come from a strong mother and a strong foundation of being exactly who you are and being true to your word. And I think that carries into the persons that you become, and ultimately just being okay, being authentic, silly, serious, intentional. I believe that is a gift, to be able to maintain your authenticity in work and still be the same.
It's not easy, is it?
Not at all.
It's not easy. Life has a way of knocking you around to a thing, and I'm always amazed at when people are talking about when you talk to people who have been at a company and they say, oh, I'm at retirement age, and they've been there for 40 years, 34 years. Your life is so, I think of all the things, all the jobs, all the different iterations that I've had, and then I listen to you talking, and I'm like, wow, she's had many, 90-degree or 45-degree turns as I have.
For sure.
Wouldn't change any of it.
Absolutely.
And every bit of it came to today. So I'm grateful for that. And I'm always intrigued when I'm listening to you talk about your life coming forward and going, wow, I can identify with that. Yep.
Yeah.
No, not that, but definitely that, right? And the places that we've been, it's fascinating. We all have a book in us, I think, or two.
Yes,
right.
A series, encyclopedia.
How many times? The honest question: how many times have you been approached to write a memoir?
I am writing one. Nobody's ever asked me to write one, but when I did my podcast, when we stopped, I realized that my story may not be Michelle Obama's story or Viola Davis, but my story is relevant for another young girl who thinks she has to have it figured out.
Mm-hmm.
You can be all of those things and grow and be successful. I think the old school philosophy is go to college, do this, become this.
Mm.
And where we're living now in this society is be authentic and let the spirit guide you. Do what you do well, and you can have more than one hat, like literally.
You know what's wild? Conversations for me or anything that I'm involved in, it's like this theory, this constant thing in my head of all the things that my dad told me or that my mom told me, little things. And then you'll say something and that comes into my head. Two things. Number one, and it's on my Facebook when you pull it up, and it's been there since my daughter made. I'm about to get to that in a minute, right? But when my daughter made me a Facebook way back yonder. And it said, about or whatever that section is where you write
your bio or whatever, yeah.
And mine still says to this day, and it has never changed since day one. Life is a series of transitions. Everything is yet to be determined. So when did Facebook start? 2008?
Yeah.
When was that?
That's good.
That's good. Couldn't be truer than what I have found to be life and so I always hope, and I look at my two children, we're going to get to yours in just a minute, but I look at that and that's something that I always try to instill in them. There is no one right way.
Sure.
Yes, get the tools. Yes, get the education or the training or this, that, and the other. But be open to the 45 degrees.
Absolutely.
Right? Be open to the left turns and the right turns. And at the end of the day, my philosophy with them, and it comes from my dad. The thing that popped in my head is my dad always said, always throw your hat in the ring.
Always.
You make them throw it back. Never be out of the game.
Yeah.
Because you didn't get in.
Girl.
So that's what my dad, that is the thing.
That's huge.
Those are the two things in my life that guide me. Always throw your hat. He would say, Mooch, always throw your hat in the ring. You make them throw it back.
Yeah.
But you never are not in the game because you didn't get in.
Yeah.
Right? So if you never try, the answer is no. What did you just tell me the other day? What did you say yesterday?
What did I say?
Something. Oh, something along those lines, right? I think
that when you and it's no diss to what parents did back in the day or my grandmother say, but what I've learned is that if you decide, and this is what I tell my kids and anybody else that has ears to listen. If you put yourself in a box, I'm going to be this and that's what I'm going to be. You're literally limiting God. God he don't do boxes. Like he does universe.
Yeah.
And if you say, I'm going to be this and that's it, you could not be fulfilling a purpose. You could do a job and be well, but it doesn't, you're limiting the gifts that are in you when you're singularly focused. I believe that.
And then if you're singularly focused, being singularly focused requires you to be singularly focused on the right thing.
Correct.
A lot of people, I think, live their lives and they are singularly focused, but it's not necessarily on the right thing.
Yeah.
Then you get to the end, or you get to 20, 30 years and go, what did I just do?
Yeah.
Right? So I want to move to this because you're a mother.
I am.
And tell me about your daughters, Ryan and Jay.
Ryan is they're the best parts of me,
For sure.
and they are extremely precious gifts because everybody can't, right, have a child on their own. You can adopt, but God giving me life to bear and to teach, it is the biggest responsibility I've ever had, and it doesn't stop. Like, I subscribe to the philosophy of you'll always have a room at home. I know I'm not going to pack your room up and make it the workout room. That's going to be your room, because I believe that in my younger years, my friends, their parents always had rooms for them, and I would go in their big sister's room and you'd see their cobweb-filled Letterman jacket, and our culture teaches us to get out. You know, hey, you went to bed you were 17 yesterday. It's 8 o'clock the next morning, you're 18, it's time for you to get out. I don't subscribe to that because I feel like having home always keeps you grounded, period. So Ryan is my smart, athletic, get-it-doner. Jay is my flower child. Completely opposite, but they work together well because they're operating outside of one body. I also have been blessed with bonus children, Melanie and Jacqueline, and we call them Quad. The son that I didn't give birth to, but through marriage I got them, and then a son-in-law and 2 incredible grandchildren. So
blessings on blessings, right?
We love Nana.
Okay, so here's what I hear you say, and this is so funny because in life you connect with people, and it's funny how you don't even necessarily, until you have time to really sit down and have these conversations, understand exactly how closely you are connected with people with things that maybe are innate with us. So with my 2, Andrew and Melanie, just Andrew the other day.
Yes.
He's my creative.
Super shy.
Right? Jeez Louise.
Food's so good.
Jeez. I just can't even, I was trying to describe it yesterday and I couldn't.
It's not describable.
And but he's my artist, my Renaissance child. And then Melanie, and she was the athlete, and Andrew was an athlete too, but he was an avant-garde athlete. Right? Yes. And but he went this way and she went that way. Neither one more than the other. They were just very different, but they were the 2. But with them, number 1, I spent their whole lives telling them, and I had to just remind them both a couple of months ago, because I felt that I had to just tell them that you're the reason I was born.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you're literally the reason I was born. If I didn't have you, there wasn't anything I can come up with.
Yes.
That the Lord, needed me to be here on this earth.
Yes.
Do. There was nothing that I can do that somebody else couldn't do.
They are absolutely.
And so, for same thing as mostly a single parent with them, we were divorced, and Paul was there, but my children were always in the home with me. And we did, now they call it co-parenting. We just used to say we're an American family. Right. We're just an American family, right? But the other thing was, I always looked at them as, and lived, and we still do, and I've never, and will never, I don't care when I lived in New York City, there has never, ever been anywhere that there is not a place for my children if they ever need to. And I always said, my job is to raise you up, love you, take and lead you, and make sure to give you your wings. And when the time comes and you decide that you're ready to fly, bless you, and you fly. But if and when,
come on,
you fly in and you crash, because we crash out,
fly right on back to the nest.
Come on back You know what I always got?
Yeah.
There's a place for you to stay, place for you to land.
Yes.
And some duct tape.
Yeah. Yes.
We gonna duct tape them wings up.
We.
Right. We
Yes.
gonna duct tape them wings up.
Yes.
And you're gonna slowly start flapping them again.
Yes.
And when you're ready,
Try
jump
again.
on out there again. And I don't care how many times you have to jump out there until you find it.
Yeah.
Until you get and you catch that wind
Yes.
and you're really out.
Yes.
But no matter what,
No matter.
there's always home. And so now they're flying, the girls are
Yes.
flying, everybody's
Yeah.
flying, and you sit back and it takes a little while for you to be able to exhale.
Yeah. Yeah.
But even in the back of your mind,
Yeah.
Mama,
Yeah.
if that day ever happens,
Yeah.
there's always home.
Our culture, our culture that most of us don't care to really dig deep and understand is communal.
Mm-hmm.
We are a communal people. Generations ago, somewhere in this American dream, it transitioned to get out, be grown, and you can be grown and live with your family communally. We need each other.
For sure.
I need you. My kids need your kids, and it's the community
Mm-hmm.
that raises each other and is stronger because of it. And so absolutely, they'll always have a room, and it doesn't mean that you're not successful because you live at home.
No,
Because that's your home too. You know, it's not again singular. It's like, okay, where do you live? Just because my mother lives there doesn't mean I'm immature or not successful. I live with my family.
Period. And that's my family, and I can live there if I want to.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful. So I want to say, here's what we're going to do. We're going to shift a little bit, but because you had a quite exciting life, and we touched on it a little bit. I want to talk about the music industry because I want you to explain your life in the music industry because we're going to get to where we are now, but they go together because you're still there too.
Yeah.
So tell me about your fantastic, wonderful times in the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s.
So
that was just good.
Social media.
Well, me too. Well, me too. There's a whole decade or two that just did not need to be photographed, in my opinion.
Facts. The music industry. I love music.
Mm-hmm.
All kinds of music.
Mm-hmm.
Music is a happy place for me. I worked for my uncle's nightclub for years. Very popular nightclub from the time it was a kiddie club till the three versions it became. And because of that, I was connected to music. I also, my mother is from the East Coast, so I spent a lot of time on the East Coast, and that is a lot of the birthplace
For sure.
of music. And then and all this goes together, even though I'm saying it separately. And then there's Chicago, my home. I am the surrogate big sister of who people call the Brad. And when she was very young, she was very clear that she wanted to be in the music industry. So I leveraged my New York friendships and my Chicago base and made certain that I helped her dream come true by getting her a deal with Jermaine Dupri. Music New York led me to the Jack the Rapper, which was a music conference.
Jack the Rapper. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
I
okay.
You name
Showcase
it.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that also was like a branch of how you extend your reach in music.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the friendships
big
that
branch.
is crucial to my music is Teddy Riley. He is one of my best friends in the world. I met him in New York in the projects where he's from, and he has been a brother and best friend since I I don't even know the year.
Right.
But because of him, I learned my way through music. He's always been my confidant and advisor, and when I'm doing too much or not enough. He told me something in the 90s. He said, listen, you are smart, you're beautiful, but the way you're approaching it, you don't do much. He's so quiet. I couldn't believe that was more words than he had ever said. He said, be the leader that you are, and people will gravitate to you. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be, because I was probably clicking and clacking. And I heard him, but I was busy.
Yeah.
And so I kept clicking and clacking, and he just fell back. And then fast forward, I'm in leadership at my children's goddad's restaurant. And I noticed that my lead was clicky clappy, but everybody gravitated to me. And I remembered what Teddy said, and that was 20 years before. Lead and they will follow.
Right.
And he's really an instrumental part in everything I've done in music from then. That's pre-Guy, that's all the iterations of Teddy Riley.
Right.
I've done video styling. I love clothes for Boyz II Men, and I was introduced to them through Mike Bivens, who then had his own label, Viv 10, on the Motown, under the Motown branch. And I did styling for his groups, Subway and ABC and Boyz II Men. We did a platinum album, Boyz II Men's I'll Make Love to You video. I did the styling for that.
Lovely.
It was a great time. Still do styling right now.
That was a great video.
Just got a chance to style for Mike and Carrie again in this last tour that they just did for 2 shows in Brooklyn and Philly. And then also through those relationships, I met LaShawn, who is a rapper from New York. The girl who wrote the Doing It Well song for LL. And thank God they finally put her name. That's a whole nother story.
Really?
Gave her credit finally.
So she never was on that? She never as the writer?
Nah.
Wow.
She is now though.
Okay.
But she then was rapping, and I managed her for a while. In the 90s. So music for me is, I don't know, and then my own restaurant, right? So it's all intertwined. My own restaurant, my husband gives me a gift of a restaurant. I'm still trying to figure out.
I give you the gift of
another job. But I'm grateful because I got to bring everything I love together. Being a waitress is probably my favorite job still. Because I got to meet people like Pastor Chris Harris and his family and Obama and right in that little Dixie Kitchen restaurant with 16 tables. It literally changed my life. A moment when it was uncertain.
I was there and the catfish was crazy.
Yeah.
Breakfast too.
Literally, my time there was 6 in this hand. I felt like I had fallen off of that girl hill. Half dozen in the other. It changed my whole life. It was the foundation of me becoming the next version of myself.
Right. That transition is hard sometimes, though.
It's difficult to come from the top, and
it is,
and wait tables. But I tell you what, working as a waitress reminds you how to serve.
So a few years back, I just ended up, starting this here, starting Chicago News Weekly, and it was just me, right? I didn't have any backing, I didn't have anything. I just had me and determination. And pockets started getting low. Everything has to go into Chicago News Weekly.
Yes.
There isn't anything for me. So you know what I had to do? Thank God for our great friend Jackie.
Yeah.
I was out here scooping ice cream.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you can't, and that takes that thing,
yeah.
right? To be able to not, that's the difference between having respect for yourself and being prideful. Prideful will stop you.
Yes.
A person who's too proud and operates out of prideful, which in my mind is a fear of lack, will not do that, what you did with Dixie. So what you were just saying, right? Would not do what I did and go scoop ice cream.
Yeah.
Move this big old tub. I can't even do it now. I could do it 3 years ago. Right, but I can't do it now. But they wouldn't have, but then it wouldn't have taken you. That pride would have stopped you and stunted you right where you were. You could have been living all the rest of your days in back when I was.
The thing for me is that's the process, right? Life is high and low. And like you said, pride is not outside, including it being a sin, right? You get we all need to be grounded. The ones that aren't grounded are lying. And I'm not going to say any names, but don't think that every post on the internet or every place you walk into, those are not always your friends, and that doesn't always equal success. And that is what I want. I learned more about myself slinging catfish. Even though I had waited tables before in the old High Park, the one I grew up in.
Right.
But I learned more about how to leave pride alone and take care of my kids. My daughters both graduated from a private school. Only God.
But
because there were no discounts for waitresses. You paid the same tuition as everybody else. My oldest daughter went to college on a full scholarship. My daughter attended the Jewish nursery school across the street from the Obama's house. You would be amazed at the blessings that doing God's work and lessening myself which then led me to Park 52, which then led me to speaking MV. And quite frankly, there are a million pretend MVs in the world, but the Ground Door is a moment in life where I then got to reach another set of people that sometimes I see in the airport, and they say, "You're the lady from behind the Ground Door, and you're the lady that will dance on the bar, and you're also the lady that had the party for my daughter for her 16th birthday." We just have to live in
all of those things at one time, at the same time.
Yeah. If I didn't have a lot of jobs, I couldn't do nothing.
So right.
I would be not well. If I didn't have a million things, I couldn't do one thing.
So I wanted to ask you a couple questions about your work right now and tie it all together. I want you to tell us about Milhouse Charities, how it became exact. One of the biggest things when I first became aware of you, we were somewhere in Wilbur. Your husband was accepting an award for something or another. And the speech that he gave was really all about you. And it was so sweet. But then I was another place and you were getting an award. And I was standing there watching you get this award, and the way that he was just looking at you. And I know everybody was like,
they go together.
So I want you to tell us about, I want you to tell us about Milhouse Charities. You're the executive director.
I am.
Founder.
Yes, co-founder.
And co-founder. So I want you to tell us what Milhouse Charities does, what do you support, and then kind of lump that into your other work that you do for so many organizations here in Chicago in terms of community service, because everything that you have said makes perfect sense to where you are right now with this in this chapter.
So my mother's legacy is one of fearlessness and service. And so when I married, the restaurant business is how I met my husband.
Okay.
I tell the true version of that. He does not. That's for another show. But everything I say is the truth about it.
Right, of course.
But I met him working in a restaurant. And he was in business. He had been in business. He was, a thing he did before we even started dating was I watched a young lady come in the restaurant, share her story with him. She had a nonprofit, and he went to his car and came back and wrote a check. And I thought, oh my gosh, that was nice. I'm like, how much was that check? I got sit and talk to him. That wasn't the tip I got. But, right. So he said, basically, he has a heart to give. Fast forward, we marry. I remember that check. And he, although was a giver, his organization, his company, now a family of companies, did not have a nonprofit or philanthropic branch. And I said, well, can I start that? And he said, absolutely. So I went to Good City. Mm-hmm. I took a lot of their courses. I had been in nonprofit prior to that, but not as the leader and the founder. And I wanted to make sure that I was doing it upright and the way that it should, not just having a good idea and starting it.
Yeah.
I went through 5 or 6 versions of our nonprofit, who we are, but what was important to him was that we sew back into future hymns. He has his own incredible story about his journey into becoming a professional engineer, structural and civil, taking a leap of faith and starting a company that is now 25 years old. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to marry what his love was for community and mine. And so our charter is about exposure, awareness, and equity in STEM. For people of color. And service, which is my angle. My mother reminded us that we have to serve. You have to get up and do something for somebody else. Mm-hmm. And that was just the way she lived her life. And so I married the two, and so community service was an integral part of it. We now extend that to our team members in every state or city we work in, to be a positive impact, because we both agree that we earn money from a neighborhood, you put it back.
Right.
And you clean it up. And you're a part of it at the ground level. You don't just write checks and send them down low. You go down low with them. And so that's where the service angle comes from. Every person that works with us does a minimum of 1 hour of community service. And that's part of their culture. And of course we encourage more, but we all have the time to do 1 hour.
Yeah.
And so it has just really organically grown, that it's a service before self mentality. And that's what keeps the progress of our community, our city, our country, and obviously our company. So
yeah.
It's
outstanding, and thank you when you give me the opportunity to serve, because I always have such a great time anyway. But I just, it's the thing that when you're all caught up in your own life, it's easy to forget. Yeah. And so some of us have reminders like you, who go, hey, here's some opportunities, and you always say, it's an opportunity, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so I appreciate that. But I want to say this, because there are other organizations, so many other organizations that you also serve. Yes. And offer opportunities to serve. So I really want to, before we get to the end of this, because it's coming up next Saturday, is the prom event. Yes. So I want you to be able to tell our listeners about this and how they can help as well. I mean, I had a phone call yesterday from someone that was like, when is the thing that Dawn is doing with the prom dresses, and how can, what do we need? And I said, there's things right here, let me forward this to you, right?
So
let's talk about it.
Let me start with Polished Pebbles.
Yes.
Reflections
Let's go to
Foundation.
Polished Pebbles.
Have the honor of being the surrogate big sister of Kelly and being part of her family outside of the organization. But I sit as the senior, I sat as the senior board member and now the chairman of Polished Pebbles. Our sister is experiencing some really dire health challenges.
Yes.
Her mother and sisters and family are 10 toes down in the thrust of maintaining her health. And so I don't know if this is right to do, but there is a link that I would love for us to continue to support Julie Fair. Keep our prayers with their family that Kelly come through this. Kelly 2.0
right.
Comes out with a bigger dream than Polished Pebbles, and we can grow into the greatness that God purposed in her.
Right. So what we'll do, we'll make sure that we put that link in the description of this show so that people can go in and click on the link and support Kelly and then ultimately Polished Pebbles as well. Wonderful organization for young women. And Kelly was in the process of growing that from not just being in the Chicagoland area, but I believe even as far as reaching into Africa.
Yeah,
so
and
the
Nevada.
work that she's doing in Nevada, and the work that she was doing is incredibly important.
Kelly's Michelle Obama level of a human, and she really is gifted. Every girl is a CEO, teacher to teacher model. Like, she's an innovator, and I'm excited for what God has given her in this time now.
Right.
That we will be executing when she is back at her 100% self.
Right.
Another organization I sit on the board of is Shy Gives Back as an advisory member. They literally just answered the call of duty. If the call of duty was an organization, it would be Shy Gives Back.
Right, agreed.
They find where the need is and they figure it out. Founded by John and Sandy. They really are an organic team of people that find where to meet the need of the community and literally do it. Christmas, haircuts at school time, feeding seniors. We're now feeding seniors again in a senior home. Another wonderful organization that I'm honored to serve. And then Girls for Science with Jackie Lomax. She takes STEM to another level and teaches it to, there's so many. Project Sincere, Jason Coleman, in-school programming STEM, we're in public schools. They can't afford it, and he's paying for it. But service is just, it's a calling.
It is. And you have answered the call.
Yes.
So
And I intend to. Yeah.
Continue on. Tell us about this weekend, please.
So Michelle Relaford.
Next weekend.
April 19th. Michelle Relaford from NBC News started the Princess Project.
Yes.
And she wants to make certain that children who might not otherwise be able to dress for prom, girls specifically, have beautiful dresses. I don't even know how we met, but we met and she reached out to me and said, hey, can you...
I think we met at the Community Builders.
Probably.
Correct.
Probably, but since then, I assist her. It's really her baby. She's carrying our news and making sure we're informed, and I just kind of bring the manpower and some of the energy to what she has already created. We are hosting girls. The Ritz-Carlton has partnered with her this year. So these girls, some of them may have never even been on the Magnificent Mile, will get to go to the Ritz-Carlton. And the experience is to find their prom dress. They say yes to the dress. She's partnering with Uber.
So there'll be prom dresses there that they can choose from?
We're turning a ballroom into a boutique of prom dresses. Last year we did it at Boutique 500, but the space was too small.
Oh,
It was, so we have 30 girls, and they will come and they will have personal shoppers, and they will find their fit with their parents and their shopper.
this is a phenomenal event, and I know that we're going to have
My niece
listeners to this.
Kylie, Aaliyah
Yes.
F. Shaw will be there, and the former
The
Miss
actress.
Teen, the actress, and the former Miss Teen Illinois Carrie will be there.
Good, good. So tell our listeners what they can do to help, and then we'll also put that information in the link as well.
We are looking for intentional volunteers, not because Miss Michelle is on the news. And
Right.
so like
Intentional.
and so yeah, we shoppers. I'm looking for partnership with decor. If somebody wants to do the decorations for the room, the balloons or the big words, the letters, T-shirt vendors, somebody that could maybe sponsor or add to it with giving the girls a T-shirt. You know, like I found my fit or whatever it says, and just and then volunteer service.
Okay, okay. So we're gonna put that information also in the show description so that people will know who to reach out, because I think, you know, letting women know that this is going on, and men too,
Yeah.
that this is just such a great opportunity. I imagine that you need some makeup people
I
or
would, yes, makeup.
stylists.
And we're gonna do raffles. So if
Okay.
anybody wants to raffle off something they can do for
Services.
that child
Correct.
on their prom day,
Got it.
that would even, I mean, these are children from CHA, and so they don't always, prom is a big deal. And I'll tell you the Cliff Note version of my prom. My old school mother, if you see my prom picture, you would think I'm Little Bo Peep. Definitely,
I had one of those.
yeah, hairstyle and everything.
What was it? Yeah, what was the dress?
I had a
What was it?
parasol.
Well, I didn't have a parasol. I had the dress. Oh, what was it called? Laura
Oh, yeah.
Ashley or whatever. The first one I went to, and it was up like that. And then my cousin Lizzie did my hair, and it was all piled up on my head, just sort of like a beehive, but not really. And it was awful. And all the prom pictures, I was just sitting. I had to go with my cousin's friend for his prom. It wasn't even mine. It was just awful. It was such a.
It was.
Oh,
I got my hair done at the Looking Glass that used to be on 51st and Lake Park underneath Kentucky Fried
Yeah.
when Village Foods was there. And I literally came out looking like Little Bo. I look at the pictures and I'm like, oh, Jesus. And she made me, my stockings were white.
Yes,
like,
I had. Yeah.
And I had a parasol. I don't want that for the kids. So we need to help them.
Okay, okay.
No, we can't. No parasols.
We can't do parasols and no beehives, and let me assure you that a beehive or any kind of
Yeah, not Beyonce.
updos,
A real beehive.
no type of updos were actually in style in the 80s. So I don't even know how that happened, but I know I had a track meet that day. I was very tired and I was too tired to argue with anybody. And that's the way that it turned out, right? So I want to bring this down to the end, to the close, but I want to talk a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
Dawn, we've heard so much about everything, and I think I get an idea, but what brings you like joy? Like what brings you joy? That's a hard question, but then what is it, right? What is it that just makes you, outside of the girls and families, or anything else outside of that that's just like, that just really...
I think that my love language is service, acts of service. But where I find, simple things, right? Music, reading, traveling. But I kind of just like being with my friends and family, you and Doris and Sonia and all the people that I know love me outside of what people assume.
Mm-hmm. And couldn't care less.
And like having a glass of vintage champagne and caviar and music.
I would say that, when I would honestly say that on days when we get to go out and be on a golf course in a and it's a warm summer day, it's a hot summer day, and we're out there and just having fun.
Yes.
That is joyous. And I will say, when we just getting together with 5 women
Yeah.
and just sitting there, with the food aside was just amazing. I'm going to tell you all that we had the best meal I think I've.
And you can't say the name because remember I want to hide it from people because I don't want people to take advantage of it.
But it was so every morsel of it was so unbelievably delicious and so completely
It was decadent.
Satisfying.
And the greater part of that experience is the camaraderie.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
And with no airs, with no eyes, just a group of women who, in their own right, sit at the top, being their silliest high school self. It's refreshing.
It was phenomenal, right?
It was
just such an experience, and being at this point and moving through all that has happened in the world, all that's going on, all the chaos and everything, just having that moment, when you're watching, let's say Oprah, and Oprah, there have been times when she has said something like that. And if you have not ever actually experienced that, no airs, no selfie click, no nothing. It didn't have nothing, not one phone. So we took it out. That's why I was like, we didn't get any pictures. I got that one picture of you. That's all.
It was so good.
Somebody else took a picture of all of us together. I don't even know who had it.
I think it was a restaurant.
It didn't go up on social media. It wasn't for anyone else. It was just for us.
The simple things.
And that was just the best, right? So I want to say thank you for that moment of real, pure joy that I don't get from anybody else except for when I'm having one of those moments with my children or with my grandbaby, right? I have real moments of joy with I have experienced over the last 2 years real super duper moments of joy with him and with my kids. So, but I want to say thank you to you and to the others, and I'm so glad that we decided to continue that. Do that again. Let's do that again. But and then it's almost golf season, so I'm very excited about
Ladies and gentlemen, my golf instructor. Keep your head down. With the club, by the way.
Well, somebody did it for me. Okay, so this is our last question. This is always wraps it up.
Okay.
Because we are on Chicago State of Mind. When you think of Chicago, and you talk about what makes Chicago what it is, why Chicago? What is it about Chicago and that just makes us love it? Because I don't know. I listen all the time, and they say all these people are leaving, and I'm like, who? Who is it that's leaving? Because I don't know anybody that's leaving. Because we just stay. No matter what.
If they're leaving Chicago, they should have never been here.
Well, right. So what is it about Chicago? What is this Chicago state of mind?
I don't think there's anywhere in the world that you can have the urban city, the beauty of Miami, a stone's throw from the urban city, 7-star dining, culture, 4 seasons to flex your fur and your bikini, and meet authentic, genuine people. There's no Chicago over everybody.
Chicago over everybody.
To the day I die.
I agree. I absolutely agree. Here we are. And I have gone and I have come back. Twice.
I've had a lot of fun.
Twice.
Places.
Well, 3 times I've gone and I've come back.
But in my Dorothy voice, there's no place like
There's no place like There is not. So with that being said, Dr. Dawn Milhouse, Dr. Dawn Hendricks
Give my
Milhouse,
daddy son.
Dawn from Chicago, Teflon Dawn, and all the other iterations.
Book
I want to
of-
say Book of Dawn, right? I want to say thank you,
Thank
and not
you.
just for coming here, and not just for what you do, but for who you are,
Thank you.
right? And who you are in my life. And thank you for sharing with us today.
Thank you. Thank you for
Okay,
having me.
so you're gonna come back, and Dawn's gonna
Yes.
get her own show.
I am.
She has much more to say. So Chicago State of Mind is a product of Chicago News Weekly and C&W Studio. Today's episode is produced by CaveRoom Entertainment. You can find more episodes of Chicago State of Mind on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, and YouTube. And visit www.cnwmedia to stay connected with Chicago News Weekly. For the C&W Network, I'm Cheryl Maynard. Until next time, stay in your Chicago state of mind.